Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is for the PWWA Championship, and it is scheduled for one fall.
Wow. This is what we've been waiting for.
Out our name, it's a blowout, it's a hurricane, it's over. Before you know it, while you're shaking, we're a dynasty in the making. We're the royalty, now we're breaking down the enemy. Move over for the soldiers.
Jessica Troy versus Shazza McKenzie was the first time we had had two women in the main event on a PWA event. It was super important. It was super important not only for the fact that Jess was able to win that championship and defeat Shazza. She overcame experience. She overcame potentially the better wrestler in the ring because Shazza has just been around for so much longer. But it was such a big deal because the crowd were there for it. Those women, they put absolutely everything on the line in that match. It didn't matter if there was championships or their lives were at stake. They really went head to toe against each other and they just kept colliding to see who was going to be better. And then unfortunately on one of those collisions, Shaz stayed down and Jess was able to get the victory.
The women main evented and they matched, if not exceeded, what some of the guys can do.
Probably one of my favorite moments in all of wrestling. When I won, obviously everyone in the crowd was standing up on their feet. I had my mum and my brother, my sister-in-law there watching. And I got backstage and everyone was so happy, like they all gave me a round of applause. Everyone was clapping for me, so probably one of my happiest moments ever.
Jess is really, really fucking good. And I think people are only starting to realise it now, but it's something I knew and a lot of others knew a long time ago. It hasn't been a secret that Jess Troy is one of the best in this country, and none of that, oh, she's one of the best women wrestlers. She's one of the best wrestlers this country has.
Jessica Troy is probably up there with the best wrestler we have in PWA.
She's as good as anybody in it. Yeah. I'm secretly a huge fan of Jessica Troy. She's a menace. Chick's crazy. Like the arm collector thing is not a nice t-shirt. Like she genuinely comes out looking happy as shit and then she wants to rip your arm off.
Growing up, I didn't really stick just to one sport. I never really enjoyed playing team sports. Like I did netball for a year. That wasn't really much. I tried to do boxing. That wasn't for me, but what else did I try to do? Tried gymnastics. I tried hockey. I tried a bunch of other things, but nothing really stuck with me. And then one day I watched professional wrestling on the TV and that's what I fell in love with. And here we are. Okay, so I started training at Newcastle Pro Wrestling at the House of Free Fighting up in Newcastle, actually. And I've been looking for a place to start wrestling for ages and it just randomly came up on my Facebook one day. So I sent an email out to Adam Hoffman, obviously now, and then he replied like an hour later, and then that week I started training. I think it was on the Wednesday night. I drove up to Charlestown. There was no ring. It was just a couple of gym mats on the floor, and that's how I learned how to do a headlock for the first time. Maybe a month after I started, I rocked up to training one day and there was this other random girl there, and I was used to being the only girl at training, so I was like, oh, a new friend. And then we started talking to each other, and we discovered how much we had in common. Like, we like the same wrestlers, we obviously like wrestling, so we just clicked, and then we became really, really close, like we're best friends, and that was Charlie Evans. So my first time winning the PWWA Championship was with Charlie Evans. We both actually tapped out Shazza McKenzie, which seems to be a common theme in my life. She likes to tap out, I don't know why. I had a game plan going into my match with Shazza. I knew what I wanted. It's what I want every match. I want to lock my armbar on because I know that's how I can win. I know that's how I beat people. But it was more than that. Like, Shazza took that title away from me. Shazza gets all the attention from women's wrestling in Australia. She was claiming there's no women's division in PWA. She wanted to fight the boys. She was putting it like she's fighting for us all, but she wasn't. So I wanted to hurt her. I wanted to hurt her arm. So I feel bad now, but going back into that match, I noticed how much more violent I can get. That's what I learned about myself. I know I can hurt people. I know it doesn't really faze me that bad. If I broke someone's arm, I don't really think I care that much. Maybe a little bit. Depends on the person. Yeah.
They talk about fighting champions, Rose. Jess Troy was so critical of Shazza McKenzie, saying you're trying to be a martyr for women's professional wrestling, but you're not putting the belt on the line. Not only did she go and win it at All Eyes on Troy, she puts it up against everybody the very next time she can.
I literally put every single one of them in an armbar, and I made 3 of them tap out. So that's when Madison came out. And I didn't know she was doing this, so she came out and she said that I need to prove myself against everyone else backstage, because we just saw I could beat everyone in that ring, but there's so many other people backstage that I need to prove myself.
Equality will only move forward if we all push for it.
The PWA title is now open to all challengers, no matter their gender, which I'm 100% okay with. I want the challenges. I want the best. I want the biggest. I want the fastest, the strongest, whatever. I don't care. I want them all. There's this thing at training where Maddie and Ricky are always fighting with each other. They're both very competitive. They're both trying to do better, be the fastest, be the strongest, whatever, because they started around the same time. But I think they always forget that I've been around much longer than they both have. Like, I have more experience than both of them. I've been at training longer. I'm at training every week too. But for some reason, I'm always forgotten about. I know I'm going to be underlooked. I know I'm going to be the underdog, but that's what I'm used to, and that's how I thrive. That's how I win.
All eyes will once again be on Jessica Troy as she competes to add new arms and green thunder to her collection, battling All Elite Wrestling's freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy.